The new development is really the last piece in the jigsaw puzzle. So we were conscious of making sure that we didn't actually produce a sort of 1, 2, 3 buildings. We actually produced a totally integrated precinct. And so the space planning, the architectural design, the aesthetics, the finishes are all trying to blend together so a visitor comes and feels like they're in one consolidated precinct. We're very conscious that people, delegates, visitors who come to this facility, whether they just come for 1 hour meeting or they're here for 3 or 4 days, they really needed to feel like they're part of the sort of Melbourne culture. And that reflects in some of the architectural design, it reflects in the finishes and materials. We're very conscious of making sure that people didn't feel like they were sort of trapped in a dark space. There's no dead ends, you can't get lost. You can always find your way around the system. So once you move out into the courtyard space, it has timber decking, it has a range of trees and outdoor seating, and that's a space that we see as really important for the sort of contemporary event. There's a demand now for people to have both an indoor experience and an outdoor experience. There might be a moment during the meeting where people feel like they want to break out for 10 minutes and just take a bit of air. So in this case, they can literally open the doors, walk out into the courtyard, sit down, have a cup of coffee, have a chat, and then come back into the session. The Goldfields Cafe is located right in the heart of the hub. It was designed to allow multiple flexibility over the day, so it can operate from a coffee point first thing in the morning all the way through to a glass of wine at the end of the session at the end of the day. Its visual sightlines are fantastic, so if you're sitting there having a coffee, you can see what's happening in the exhibition centre, you can see what's happening in the new expansion, you can look up to level 1 and see what's happening up in the pre-function space, so it's really going to be a great spot to sit and observe the world go by. The customer experience is when they arrive at level 1 at the top of the stair or the escalator, they land in the pre-function space with its gold carpet, its timber ceiling, it's got some amazing feature lights. You go out onto the terrace, you have a glass of champagne, move back to the pre-function, catch up with your friends, and then from the pre-function space as you step through into the sovereign room, you step onto the deep blue carpet, the gala experience. So that transition of moving in is one of the wow factor. I'm now in a fantastic space. The Sovereign Room was definitely aimed at a market in the 400 to 450 people, which is the sort of medium-range boutique event, so it really does want to provide that grand, regal experience. The new Auditorium Venue allows for a whole range of other sort of events to occur. So you can have both exhibition space, you can have now an auditorium space, you can have a food service space, and it's all directly accessed from the hub space and the northern concourse. The ceiling is very sophisticated, it provides for all the hanging points, it provides for the acoustics, so you can operate a whole range of things in that space. And because the seating in the auditorium is retractable, it can also return back to the flat floor mode. So I guess the options for people are almost limitless as to what they can do, which is really what we were after, trying to provide maximum flexibility, maximum adaptability. As architects and designers, we know these buildings are legacy projects. They represent the City of Melbourne and the State of Victoria for 25, 30, 40 years. So certainly we're conscious of trying to create buildings, create an experience for people that feels grounded in Melbourne. They feel like they're engaging with the city, they feel like they're engaging with the architecture, and that they feel like they're getting something back from their experience. So we're conscious as designers that this is an important part of the city, and we're really excited by the fact that the new expansion completes the jigsaw puzzle. It really will create the totally cohesive precinct.